So today I'm going to talk about Kerch style vases. It's an archaeological term describing vases from the final form of the Attic red figure pottery. Red figure pottery is pretty much the opposite of what I talked about last week, which was black figure pottery. Um, so instead of coloring in black silhouettes and etching out the details, red figure pottery essentially does the opposite. They use the black paint that they later fire as the outline, so it's a lot less time intensive and still creates very defined figures as contrast with the red pottery body. For Kerch style vases, the exact chronology remains problematic, but they are generally assumed to have been produced around 375 to 330 BCE. The style is characterized by slender figures and polychromaticism, which means they are multicolored, and this is done by the use of white paint and gilding, which means the adding of precious metals onto it, usually in the form of gold leaf. These vases are named as the Kerch vases because a large quantity of them were, go figure, found at Kerch on the Black Sea of Crimea. At the time of their production, the Kerch vases were exported to all over the Mediterranean region, but unlike the earlier phases, the Black Sea area was the main area for the export of these vases. So one of the most popular vase styles to do Kerch style painting on was the pea-like, which is a one-piece ceramic container that is very similar to the amphora that we talked about last week. It has two handles that are vertical on their lateral sides, and they're even with the edge of the belly. So essentially, it would come down, and then the handle would touch with the largest, widest part of the vase. It has a flunged mouth, which means that it's conical in shape and it's wider at the top, and a spherical belly. Unlike the bottoms of the amphoras, however, the pea-like's bottom always is flanged, so that means it's spread out, so it will stand on its own because it was used as a storage container and it was often used for utilitarian reasons. Unlike, okay, so pea-likes are often intricately painted, and usually they have scenes involving people. The pea-like vase actually first appeared at the end of the 6th century BCE and remained popular until about the 4th century BCE. So for my particular, for my final paper for art history, I was planning on talking about the pea-like Kerch style vase depicting the Judgment of Paris. So right now I'm going to talk a bit about what the myth is about. So the Judgment of Paris was essentially the event that caused the Trojan War. So the Trojan prince Paris met up with three of the goddesses: Hera, Aphrodite, and Athena. So the three goddesses asked Paris to judge their beauty and determine which one was the most beautiful. But instead of just going straight up from their beauty, each of the goddesses offered a bribe. Athena offered to make him the wisest, best strategist in the world. Hera offered him innumerable powers, and Aphrodite offered him the hand in marriage of the most beautiful woman alive. And Paris chose Aphrodite. And the most beautiful woman alive actually happened to be married at the time, and so he went over, stole this most beautiful woman alive, whose name was Helen, and so Helen happened to be Agamemnon, another Greek king's wife. So it started a whole war that led to the fall of Troy. So that's it for this week on Kerch style vases.